There are a lot more hunters in the woods these days, both man and beast.
Coyote populations have boomed to all-time highs.
And so has the popularity of pursuing these predators.
To put the drop on an animal,
With survival skills honed to the extreme,
you really have to sharpen your own.
you have to leave behind passive hunting methods
You have to pull rank.
and step up to the role of dominant predator.
Think you're up to it?
Join the Drury Outdoors pack.
As we prowl across 2 countries and 7 states to bring you more than 20 hunts
Watch as we stand at the very top of the food chain and give it a big old yank.
by using every means possible, from dogs to traps to calls to 4x4s to helicopters.
It is pure predator madness as we take this production outside the norm.
Not all methods presented are our choice or our style.
But they are real in the world of predator pursuit.
Drury Outdoors. Our videos are different.
And this one's way different. So now, it leads us to this production, Predator Madness. Why did we do it?
You know, we elected to do a predator video for a reason. And the reason was that we've heard such diverse tactics across the entire United States on how people view coyotes and how they hunt coyotes.
You know, Drury Outdoors is known as a whitetail, turkey, and big game video production company. And as we went through that process and as we went on different hunts, we started to create a relationship with predators all across this country, specifically coyotes. And for years, we would just simply, if we had the opportunity to take a coyote while we were deer hunting, we would take it with a bow or we would take it with a gun, and we ended up capturing some pretty nice hunts that way. Then sometime in the late 90s, there was an event that changed the way Terry and I felt about coyotes and the way we viewed them in the overall food cycle. We were sitting there in a deer stand, and one of the most amazing things he and I have ever seen occurred. There was a deer that was running back and forth, pretty good buck, and some other deer jetted out of a ditch. And all of a sudden, a coyote comes bounding across this bean field, and like that, right behind our stand, 2 coyotes took down a live deer and killed it and ate it right in front of our eyes.
And that's something that I don't know that many people have ever saw or ever witnessed. And I'll never forget it. It was one of those moments that really is locked away in your memory. And when you see it, you're in disbelief that it even happened. Fortunately, we were able to capture it all on video. And from that moment forward, I had a different respect or a different outlook on a predator.
It was an amazing scene, and it's one we felt worthy to share yet again. Sit back, relax, and enjoy Predator Madness. It's a little bit different than anything we've ever done. Well, if you want to be successful while calling, it's smart to go someplace where a lot of coyotes live. We decided to travel to North Dakota to bring you this first hunt of the production. Myself, John Frank, Jason Irish, Dave Reisner, a bunch of deer hunters. We've got calls in our hands, and we're going out there to join some good buddies in North Dakota and see what we can get done.
Ready to roll.
Well, you know, this coyote trip kind of got thrown together pretty quickly on us. They were losing snow up here in North Dakota, and the phone calls came down that we better get up there and get up there this weekend.
Here's the plan. Jason, John, and Dave are driving up from Minnesota and Iowa, and I'm gonna fly into Fargo and meet the whole group.
Maynard, I got enough gear for an army. Get your stuff packed up here. Holy cats. See ya.
Pick Jason up, let him say his goodbyes, and you know, we're off to North Dakota.
You know, anytime we get back together with the guys, you know, it's exciting because it's been a couple months since, you know, I've seen Dave or John or Mark, and you know, I'm excited to get back out there and just, you know, share the experience with these guys.
Dave and I switched off a few times driving, and you know, before we know it, we're rolling into North Dakota about 2 in the morning.
We're there. We're here. It's time to start hunting.
Rolling in North Dakota where the coyotes are.
I've never traveled so far to kill a dog.
Predator madness. Do you have it?
I'm mad. My eyes are glowing, especially at night shot. Well, this should be pretty interesting. I've never even killed a coyote before in my life.
You guys tired?
What do you say, fella?
Nice to meet you.
How you doing? We met Mike, and Mike was gracious enough to put us up at his house.
Jace, we gotta get up.
We knew we were going to be able to get to him before one of us had to peel off and get Mark from the airport.
Driving 10 hours, get an hour and a half of sleep, back up ready to go hunting.
Yeah, definitely. Let's load some guns.
You know, when you think about North and South Dakota, the Great Plains, you just don't think of a lot of white-tailed deer. And, you know, I think me and Dave were both in amazement on that first big group of deer we seen. There must have been close to 200 of them. We were just watching them cross the road in groves of 5, 6, 10, and next thing you know, we seen a coyote run right behind them.
Ooh, coyote.
Where?
Just went on the far side of him.
To be honest with you, we came up here, we thought it would be, you know, just seeing jackrabbits, maybe fox, coyotes, but there is just deer after deer. There's deer everywhere up here.
Every single time we went to go set up, it was more deer running away. And you know, and every time, you know, these deer running away, it was kind of a bittersweet thing for Jason and I. We love watching deer, but I think it took the coyotes out of the county with them.
That's a big buck right there.
When game spooks, they all spook, and they all know they can read the other body language, and they're gone too. So, you know, we were just having unsuccessful sit after unsuccessful sit.
Well, it's mid-February. We're heading for a predator hunt in Fargo, North Dakota. I'm gonna go meet Irish, Reisner, Frank, and Perry Knetter, and we're gonna get after those predators. So I'm anxious, you know, I'm at the house, I'm packing up, and it's not long, I'm on the flight. I get off the plane, and I'm passing through security, and who do I see but my good friend Perry Knetter, and there's Big John Frank with that camera rolling. You know, we try to roll on everything, and you know, here I am. John's behind the camera. I haven't seen him in 3 months, and I'm anxious to say hello.
Buddy.
Good to see you, buddy.
What's happening, man?
Oh, not too much.
Fancy meeting you here.
Yeah.
So we get out there, and you know, we didn't know if we'd have enough time to go that first evening, but we had a couple hours. We said, we're burning daylight. Let's get after them. You know, deer season's over, but the sight of a few deer gets you excited. Where you want to hang at there, John? I think we can cut them off this fall. John and I are together, Dave and Jason are together, and we start making setup after setup after setup. And coyote hunting, I compare it to a lottery. It's a numbers game. You're out there, you got to cast that lure out. It's just like bass fishing. The more you cast and the better places you cast into, the better chance you have of actually calling a coyote in. You know, it's getting towards dark, and you always, as a hunter, that magical hour, here it is, last setup of the day. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, John says, Mark, right in front of you. Wasn't a coyote, it was an owl, but we enjoyed the evening nonetheless. It was just good to getting out there and seeing John, and now I couldn't wait to see Jason and Dave.
After a long drive and not much sleep, we hunted hard that day. And I figured it would be hard to get up the next morning, but I was wrong. You know, as soon as the alarm rang, we sprang out of bed, was real eager to meet Corey Kirschman, a guy who we knew what he was doing.
What my strategy will be today. We're in the spring season, so they're trying to mate right now.
Corey's a local guy, knows the terrain, and he knows how to call coyotes.
You know, it's just so happened that I had a birthday party planned for this week, and this was when the coyote hunt came, so I had to cancel my own birthday party, and I think my wife's a little disappointed, but nevertheless, she sent us off, and, you know, we're excited about getting out there coyote hunting.
Birthday boys up.
Yeah, birthday today.
Happy birthday there, Jason Irish.
Well, once we all met up, we had to make the master plan, and it kind of unfolded like this. It was going to be John Frank and Mark and myself and Jason.
Well, it's our second day up here in North Dakota, and it's February 11th. It's my birthday today, so I'm the birthday boy, and hopefully I'm just going to go out. All I want for my birthday is a big old coyote to come run in and let me shoot him, so we'll give it all we got.
Deep down inside, We're all wanting to kill a coyote, but we're all pulling for Jason. A guy ought to get a chance on his birthday.
Well, in the pairing process, you know, we had to get kind of paired up with our hosts or our guides, as you will. And Jason and I were going to be with Mike Prochnow.
I think if we sit in this ditch here, we'll set up, we'll work the wind right. We've got a cattail slough out there, we got a stock pond. They like burrowing in that stock pond for their dens. They're probably gonna stick around in their home territory, so we'll hang out here, we'll give it 15 minutes, we'll see what happens, and nothing happens, we're gonna bug out and roll to the next spot.
So we're gonna park truck here and walk back about 500-600 yards back there, set up in a road ditch, and try to maybe see if we can pull a coyote out one of these sloughs out here. I think this can work as long as no cars come by. Steer them away.
We got good wind.
Yeah, wind is actually perfect.
Wind is in our favor. Let's see what happens.
Well, it's been about 10 minutes since we tried hauling at them, and they ain't working, so might as well squeal on this little hand call for a little bit. Use some range here. Maybe they're a little farther away than we think they are. You know, when you get set down there, it's one of the spots that just looks perfect. So we had a lot of confidence, but the first couple calling sequences just had no results. You know, I think it was probably 15, 20 minutes into the calling sequence, we decided that maybe it was time to get up and move. I don't know, it's been 20 minutes. I think maybe we better go try another spot. What do you think?
Yeah, we haven't had any action yet. Just skip on over to the next spot.
You know, we stood up, we're gonna head back to the truck, and we spotted this coyote coming in off to our right-hand side.
Yep. We got one right there.
You know, I knew this was all gonna be quick, and you know, for safety reasons, I told Mike just to go ahead and shoot if he gets a shot. Take him, Mike, if you get a chance. You on him? On him. You got him. That was a good shot. He went down right there. I just seen him.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, that worked out pretty good.
Yeah, it did.
There, boy. Oh, we broke the ice finally.
Yeah, we did.
That was good shooting there. You know, it didn't work out the way we wanted it to. You know, we were planning on calling and having them come running the calls, and here we've been calling for 15 minutes, and we're just ready to give up. And look, and here this one was running the other way, and you made a heck of a shot on her.
Thank you. I guess you got to do what you got to do with these. They're a lot smarter than the guy thinks. She came in, she saw us, turned around, was bugging out, and it was about the only shot we had. So we took it, and it worked out.
Yeah, it don't always work out the way you want it, but it worked out just right. We got a dead coyote here, and this time we'll get another one. You know, me and Dave have been talking, and I think we're out here hunting the wrong thing. Next year, or maybe next time we get a chance, we'll come back out here deer hunting.
Well, we left North Dakota and we decided to actually employ the services of someone that we consider to be an expert. You know, we're experienced in deer calling and in turkey calling, but in predator calling, we went after the best. And we got the gentleman by the name of Jason Dudley from Texas, who we consider to be one of the experts in the field.
There's coyotes hunting on the hay up there. Tell you what, let's do. Let's back up a little bit. We're gonna get out and go through this timber right here. Get around the other side before we start calling them. Do a little Texas stalking. We're still gonna try to call them, but we're gonna get on around them before we do it. Still there. Let's get through the timber.
next you know, shoot one laying by the hay bale. See him? Shoot him right there. He's coming in, he's coming in. He's coming in.
Texas double right there, boys. That's what coyote hunting is about right there. Coyote's laying right here, probably not 10 yards, 15 yards apart. Female dog here. Oh, I had a good morning this morning. We come in on a road over here and caught a coyote sunning next to some hay. I had to actually get out of the pickup and walk backwards and cross through some timber and get around this side of them so they wouldn't spot us. Got set up safely, didn't know we were there, went to call him. Took a while, they finally responded. One came in, came across, give us about maybe a 120-yard shot, decided to go ahead and take him. He was getting a little curious about what it was. And instantly, after we killed that first dog, which was the female, the male got up out of the hay and come right to her and walked within 10 yards of her and made the shot on him. And it doesn't always, you don't get that lucky, but that was a good hunt and really enjoyed it. Let's go get another one.
You know, when you talk about predator hunting, sometimes the video footage can be a little bit rough or it can be a little bit raw, but I think Jason Dudley's expertise shines through.
You know, I spend so much time behind the camera just getting different guys and people to go out and hunt with me and working on getting these predators on video. When I do get a chance to get in front of the camera, you know, I'm ready. Trying to get to the spot where I'm wanting to call, and we get out in the open, and I look through my binoculars, and there's already 2 or 3 coyotes in the field, and we're late getting there, but it's just my luck. So we're sitting here in the wide open, and we're kind of pinned down because the coyotes are out moving around, and we're sitting there as I'm watching them. This coyote runs over and jumps on top of this big round bale of hay, and you know, that was pretty neat to capture on video. I see them do that sometimes. But it's hard to figure out what these coyotes are doing. It's right in the middle of mating season, and they're just running around in the field, you know, 2 or 3 dogs at a time.
I don't know if you can see this, but there's a cow out here on this hay bale. Kind of stuck right here in the middle of this pasture. We're probably going to have to try something a little stupid here. We're going to try to get onto this cedar tree. Try to squeak him in just a little closer. But he's got his vantage point being on that hay bale, so we'll just have to see what happens.
So I decided I'm going to try to make my way up to a cedar tree and a little briar patch there for some cover before I even attempt to call. You know, might not be the smartest thing to do, but when you're stuck there in the middle, we knew there was no chance of calling those coyotes to us out in the middle. So we make our way to the cedar tree and get halfway set up, and the coyotes are just about to leave, so we know we have to do something pretty quick. I start calling, and the coyotes immediately just take off, and they're leaving, you know, and I don't know if I've spooked them. I know they're far enough away that even the loud calling is not bothering them, but they're leaving, you know, and I can't figure out what the deal is. And finally we see that there's a young female in the field and a young male. Well, there's an older male that comes across and is chasing the young female, and the young male's not happy about it, but he doesn't know what to do. So he ends up just sitting out in the field, and we can see all these dogs running around, but he's not responding to our calling at all. Finally, the young male, he figures out that he's out of the game between the older male and the young female, so he starts to come towards us. He's going to come investigate the sound. Well, he's closing the distance, you know, 200, 150 to 100 yards, and he's looking for anything. You know, he don't know where the sound's coming from, but he's looking for anything. And at one point there's a crow sitting on the ground, and he comes by the crow. I guess he sees the crow move or something, so he goes to the crow, and the crow flies, and he figures out that's not where the sound's coming from. So he comes on, and then at a certain point there, he picks up a scent of us, and he throws the brakes on. Just as quick as he throws the brakes on, he's heading the other way. He does stop, gives me a nice broadside shot, and I miss. I guess that's the reason I need to stay behind the camera instead of in front of it. Worked pretty good there for a minute. What can you say? Oh well. Let's go get another one. There's still several dogs in the field out there. We're gonna just try to let things cool off and see what we can do here in a minute. And that happens hunting. I mean, you miss, you know, kind of hurts your pride, but it happens, and there'll be more coyotes.
Now we're heading north out of the Lone Star State back to Missouri. I'll set the stage. Terry and I have been turkey hunting together for 3 weeks. Turkey season has concluded. We have heard coyotes nearly every morning of the season. Now it's time to trade in our turkey calls for our predator calls and see if we can't get Terry on a coyote.
You know, if predators are anything like every other animal, we'll see if they move ahead of that front. We live and die by this weather channel, and it looks like we've got a huge front moving in tomorrow with a solid wall of rain, so we'll see what happens. Mark's finally convinced me to go out and do a little bit of predator hunting. Turkey season's over, and we've struck as many coyotes as we have turkeys, so we're gonna get into predator mode now.
Start barking at you. A lot of times you won't get a response, but boy, when you do and you move in on them, you know, your odds are pretty good. They're really fired up. We're gonna go try them.
You know, we went to several different farms, did a little bit of calling, weren't having any luck at all, but there was one farm in particular where we were hearing a lot of yelping.
Wow. It's a horrible death. You know, it's disturbing to think that an animal has to go through something like that, and that's the reason we predator hunt right there. But that's Mother Nature's way of doing her work. But the other thing, the really, really important point, is you know there are coyotes in the area when you see dead carcasses like that. I'm gonna move up the hill and try and get up where I can cast that sound out into these valleys where they may have a den. So I'm gonna sit up here in this spot. See how this falls off all directions.
We're in the middle of this big wooded oak ridge, hickory timber, oak timber, and we had heard several coyotes in there. So we set up and, you know, we just started calling.
ever gonna come in, but boy, when they do.
Well, it's not often that happens. You know, we spend a lot of time turkey hunting, mule deer hunting, antelope hunting, predator hunting. And whenever you call in a coyote and harvest it, it's a pretty wild feeling, you know, because you don't do it every day. It's something that doesn't happen, not near often enough. But beautiful morning, you know, and this dog comes slipping in. Boy, and he's heading right for us. You can just see him looking at you. And, you know, normally when you get a coyote like that, they'll turn and bebop and go the other way. But this is a young coyote, and just decided to come on in. And you never know when they're gonna pounce you. I don't think there was any fear of that, but we made sure that this was the end for him. Beautiful morning, great morning. Well, we finally got a little bit of a revenge there in North Missouri. We're now switching gears and heading over to Virginia with Chris Ward and Eric Hale. They're the students. They're gonna tag along with an expert in the field. Let's see how they do.
You know, every hunter has that same feeling when deer season's over. You know, you're just kind of sitting around and there's not much to do, and you're just itching to get back out in the woods and do something, scout around or shed hunt or whatever. Well, Eric and I had been thinking for a couple years now about trying to trap.
So I got on the internet one day. I started, you know, looking around the National Trapper Association. It just blew my mind at how much information is at your fingertips on that internet. Chris gave me a call and we decided to go to the local library.
I have to admit, I hadn't been for a while, so I got in, I was looking for the card catalog system. Obviously they don't have them anymore, so I found the computer and got on, found the books I needed, got them off a shelf, went and sat down and was just flipping through those pages. Man, I was just soaking up that information. I loved it, man. I just couldn't wait to get out and do some hands-on and set those lines and learn how to do this. Bobby! Hey, it's Chris. How you doing? Listen, I got a question. You still trapping?
Chris couldn't stand it. He jumped on the telephone and he gave our good friend, close friend, Bobby Phillips a call. He's a great outdoorsman. He's a local taxidermist, been there taxidermist for years in our community.
We thought about you first, and who better to talk to than an expert, so we thought we'd check this out and see if you could teach us a few things. You know, after we met up with Bobby, we went to his shop, and Eric and I knew nothing about this stuff, so it was all interesting to us, and you know, we just had a good time.
First thing we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to put on some rubber gloves.
All right, rubber gloves.
We're gonna handle some traps.
Scent control, huh?
Scent control is at a utmost importance in wild trapping. We always want to keep our traps in a good waterproof box, and once the boiling and waxing process is over with, you know, you want to keep those in there at all times.
What's the boiling for? What do you do that for?
Well, the boiling will remove any kind of smell.
Yeah.
It's on the trap, of course, and clean it. And the wax, it coats the trap, protects it, and speeds the action of it up.
That's what the wax is for?
Right. In the old days, and what gave trapping a bad name was traps like this from back in the yesteryear. You had too long of a chain, which gave the animal a good running start to give a good jerk.
And it would hurt.
He had no give.
Hurt the legs.
It would break his shoulder, his leg. You had teeth on the inside of your trap that would mar up the animal's leg. As soon as it was caught, you know, you're breaking hide, busting bone.
Right.
This is what all this is geared for, is, you know, a humane treatment of the animal, so it's just held there, it's not hurt when you get there, and you can do as what you see fit with. The trapping will teach you a lot and really help you in all your other, your deer hunting, your turkey hunting, as far as paying attention.
Well, you're out there.
To small things, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay a whole lot more attention to detail.
Hey, anything I can do to help me in deer hunting,
He needs help.
Trust me, this here will help you in all your hunting.
We're fired up. Blue Ridge Mountains. We're going out and set some traps.
You know, the most important thing is, from past experiences with deer hunting and turkey hunting, I know I'm going to be a better trapper than Eric is.
Chris was taking some jabs at me. Said he's going to be a better trapper. Yeah, we'll see.
Explain to me real quick why you brought your own dirt.
See, we got to have dry dirt in the bottom of the trap hole, so when it gets cold, it don't freeze. If the dirt was wet, it would freeze together and be a hard clump, and it would really slow the trap down.
100% of the dirt that's in the ground right now is wet, right?
Right.
Gotcha.
Well, like I say, when you walk up, you never want to walk around behind it much, because most time behind it, that's where the animal's going to come from, because it's going to appear to be a mouse hole that's dug back in the bank. And they'll always approach from behind and sneak up to the hole, and then he's going to come around, and when he comes around, he's going to try to get where he can sniff right down into the hole.
Okay.
He's going to realize there's nothing there moving, he can't catch it, but he might be able to reach in there and get it.
You ever snapped your fingers?
The trick to it is everything needs to set very soft.
So it won't be shifting and everything,
Yeah, because
right?
when the animal sets his foot down, he will feel it give, and he'll back away from it. We want to leave a little depression.
Now what's that for?
That's going to make him want to set his foot in the depression every time. When this animal walks up to this thing, when he comes around, he comes up to it, he's looking in that hole. And what he wants to do is step. Animals always smell right in front of their toes. Every one of them, every predator, every one of them. He'll come up and the hole is gonna be right back into here. When he steps on there to look in that hole to really get his nose down to it, he steps right into this.
Okay. So Bobby, you just dug this hole, and that's supposed to be the mouse hole, right?
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah, mouse, any kind of little game, you know, that has little holes. Animals used to hunting holes. We've got our hole dug, our trap is buried here. We've got our backing. Your backing can be anything, a rock, an old dirty rotten piece of wood. We just use grass because it's the natural thing right here. We got a little game trail, so we're gonna go right here. This is gonna be a visual tractor. Cats, the more visual, the better on a bobcat. And this is gonna go, if he's hunting down on the edge of that and he sees this,
he's gonna smell that when he gets up here.
He's gonna hunt him a circle around to this. And what we're gonna do, I'm actually gonna put a little bit of lure on this feather right here.
Okay.
So we're actually gonna dip this feather in that cat lure, and that's going to just... Pretty raunchy stuff.
Yeah, it's not too good.
Why don't you put that on your pizza tonight?
Now, Bobby, look at all this old scat.
Yeah, new and all. This is what we call a cat toilet. They're, they're got a pretty good habit of coming back to the same spot.
Just like a regular domestic house cat, right?
Right, yeah.
That's a long time ago and then fresh. So we need to put one here?
Yeah, we need to get a set right here close by. Probably back off this trail just a little ways, probably right back into here.
Okay. I'm gonna try to set this one, so we'll see how much I truly have learned today. It should be pretty interesting.
Well, Chris has had his turn to set his trap, so we're running out of daylight, which figures, so I only got a chance to set 2 traps, but I bet you I catch more than Chris. Chris made me get all that stuff ready by myself the other day and pulled my muscles in my back.
Bobby, what do you think about a man who can't even dig a hole by himself?
Oh yeah, that bad back's rough stuff.
Oh, Bobby, quit trying to take up for it.
You don't think, look at this, I have to have a therapeutic strap now.
Therapeutic strap.
Where's your Getting old, I'm 31.
Where's your hair at?
Well,
old lady. I left it at the house.
At least if you go down, we can use you for a natural bait pile.
Day number 2's rolling around, and you know, Chris, Bobby, and I, we got in the vehicle, and you know, we were heading out to the farm and going to check these traps, and I was just so excited.
What is it?
Check that out right there. I seen a little bit of movement.
It's a bobcat.
A bobcat? Hot dog, all right, man.
That's one I made, too.
Yeah, that's your scent on the cat toilet. Oh, man.
I better go get the gun.
Yeah, you better go get the gun first.
Man, can you believe it? We got a bobcat down. Man, we're rolling.
I knew my traps would reduce more than Eric's, and you know, he's sitting back, he's acting like it's okay. Bound to be killing him inside. Good shot, man. First bobcat. Well, here we are, Bobby, Blue Ridge Mountains, Virginia. We got our first bobcat this morning. You took me in here on this set, you showed me the sign, you showed me how to set the trap, and I tell you, Eric and I are just gonna be addicted to this from now on, I can tell. You know, the best thing about it, Bobby, is that it was the set that I put out, and that I'm ahead of Eric.
Yep.
So that's what matters.
Yep,
So we've had a good time. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man.
Week 1's over. We've got 1 bobcat down, and I tell you, Eric and I couldn't be more tickled. But we still got 1 week left. We're heading to a new farm, and hopefully some bigger and better things will happen there.
The next day came, and we were excited to go check our traps. We got up on the ridge to those first traps, and I wasn't expecting what we found.
What's that, Bobby?
A fox has visited us last night and somehow figured out the trap was there.
We kept checking traps all morning long, and the more traps we checked, the more we found dug up.
See, my rabbit fur's gone. I had rabbit fur in here. My rabbit fur's gone. He'll be back tonight. He'll come back hoping for more.
Yeah, all we can do is reset.
Yeah, more's just what I'm gonna give you.
The only thing we could do was pull some traps and head to the store and grab a pot and re-ball them and go out and reset them. You know, as we were heading out setting traps, it hit us with all those foxes digging those traps up. We had to go grab our wildlife eyes. So we grabbed those, picked a couple traps, and took a shot in the dark to see if we couldn't get some kind of animal doing something with those traps. Bobby says he's never seen, or nobody else has ever seen, a fox actually interact with a trap, maybe dig it up. If a fox come by and they actually dig it up, that'd be pretty cool. Well, after that full moon overnight, you know, high pressure pushed in, and that full moon was beautiful overnight, and I tell you, I was just hoping after all that work yesterday, surely we'd have a good break.
So what'd he do?
He just put, that was poked away. He pulled it up right here just to smell it, make sure it wasn't nothing.
Let's check his wildlife eyes.
The traps hadn't been dug up this time, but the lure in the holes had actually been pulled out. And, you know, Bobby felt like it was probably raccoons, not foxes this time, because they didn't actually dig them up, and check that footage. And it was so funny watching those raccoons, you know, interact with that trap. And they were smart enough that they would work around it and, you know, get that lure, but it just goes to show you how clever they are.
Uh-oh.
Look at here. Coyote.
Oh man.
It's a coyote.
Coyote, baby.
There we go.
Yeah. Bobcat and a coyote. That's all I asked for.
Yep.
Didn't I set this set right here?
No. I think I did.
Oh. But anyway. Yeah.
High five, guys.
Yeah.
Man.
Right. All right, let me go get the stuff. Man, 8 days into our first ever trapping season, we not only catch a bobcat, but now we've caught a coyote. What a great season. Man, this is something Eric and I will probably do for the rest of our lives. Man, trapping in Virginia, Bobby, I don't know how to thank you. We've had a great time the last few weeks setting these lines and checking them and stuff. You know, and one thing we've noticed is, you know, on our deer hunting, having our trail cameras up, we get an unbelievable amount of predator pictures.
Oh yeah, there's getting to be so many predators right now. They're just exploding, you know, here in our area. And this trapping's a great way, you know, to get
control them.
Control some of them, yeah.
Yeah, well, we've had a great time, Bobby, and you know, we appreciate it, and you know, hopefully we can do this next year and every year afterward.
I'm looking forward to it.
Great.
The last 8 days have been awesome. I mean, I never would have thought we would have caught a coyote and a bobcat, but the Weather Channel last night started, you know, showed that we were going to get some snow, and it started snowing last night.
You know, we still had to go out and check our traps. We actually had to pull them. It was the last day.
You know, as we're finishing up pulling our traps here in Virginia, trapping season closes today, and I couldn't help but think, walking through all this snow, what the trappers must have felt 100 years ago. Because they had to do this every day, I'm sure, in snow, and they had to take their gun with them and reset their traps in it. And it's hard not to get caught up in this. It's a real fun sport, and it's something that, you know, anytime I'm exposed to something new, I never forget it. And I felt like a kid today, you know, tromping around in this snow trying to trap, so it's been a real cool experience.
Well, we didn't catch anything, but that's no problem. Why not try to sleigh ride a little bit and have a little fun?
How'd that work out for you?
Nothing.
There's no other person, I guarantee you, in this country you're gonna find that's a trapper and he's out sleigh riding with a trash bag in the snow, man. It was just an awesome season, and hopefully we'll have fun next. Well, I know we will. We'll have a good time next year.
You know, the American trapper has a history as long as this country, and it was nice to revisit some of our past, and I think Chris and Eric were worthy students, and we really appreciate them producing that segment. Now we're heading into deer season. This is one of my favorite sections of the production, because so often when we're in states where the coyote season coincides with deer season, and we're in an ambush site and we're waiting for deer, these coyotes will happen by, they're unsuspecting. More often than not, there's not calling involved, but some of the footage is amazing because you get to see them in their natural state, how they actually act day in and day out. They're not coming to a call. It's a different section, and I think it's one you're gonna enjoy a great deal.
Well, here it was mid-afternoon, getting to be about 2, 3 o'clock, and we weren't seeing much, and I was looking the opposite way, and Jason tapped me on the shoulder.
You know, you couldn't ask for anything any better. I mean, this coyote came in, he posed on a log for us.
Well, I tell you, anybody that bow hunts knows what I'm talking about. Them coyotes are just, they're major hassles in the woods. And it seems like every time the rut comes around, they just start buggering up the deer.
We were hunting a new spot in southern Iowa for the morning, and we had a couple does running around all nervous. We had no idea what was going on. I mean, they were acting goofy.
Something must have spooked her out of there.
Well, before too long, I found out what they were all nervous about. A coyote come walking in. Yeah. I sure blew that. I've never shot a coyote with my bow, and I thought it'd be pretty cool. I just plain missed him. I don't know if it was my fault or if he ducked or what, but I just took a patch of hair off his back, and he took off running.
I shot him for 30 yards, but I bet you it wasn't 30 yards. I didn't have time to range him. Oh, he's coming back, Tom. Start doing it. He's coming back. Where is he? He's standing about 60 yards over there looking at us. Don't move.
Well, it turns out it wasn't a coyote, it was a bobcat, which that's another thing. I have never seen a bobcat in the wild at all while hunting. And this bobcat comes walking in and it stands up on a log about 20 yards away. What a unique morning just to have a coyote and then a bobcat right after that come in. I didn't even, I didn't have a real good morning seeing deer, but that was well worth it just seeing that bobcat and that coyote together. That was awesome. It was a great morning.
Looked at some walleye five footage. Some of the footage we're getting is just incredible right now, velvet bucks. They're getting out of their velvet. They're starting to get hard. We're excited for that, but the order of the day right now is the Kansas early muzzleloader season. We've intentionally delayed our trip by 2 days because of the weather. The moon is right, but we're trying to capture as much deer movement as we can with a fast approaching cold front. The highs today and tomorrow are going to be in the 90s. On Wednesday, the highs are going to be in the mid-70s, a 15 to 20 degree drop. So we'll see if we're correct. A real quandary this evening in regards to winds. We've been waiting on this front to get here, and of course it's going to pass as we're hunting this evening. So the wind's going to switch from the southwest to the south, to the southeast, to the east, to the northeast between 5 and 8 p.m. this evening. So what we're going to do is go in late and then wait till it kind of kicks around to where it's kind of east, and we're going to try and go into a stand that's predominantly out of the east. We're going to fight the wind a little bit tonight. Well, we're at Salon Images in Wichita, Kansas. Kind of crazy thinking, but last year, Eric and Jason changed their luck by getting a haircut. I need one. My hair's getting a little bit bushy, so we're gonna get one. Hopefully this will work.
Yeah.
Do the lucky cut.
I'm trying.
Whatever that consists of.
I've never heard of that before, though.
Well, that's because we're a little different. We're going that extra mile here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Here we go. We're ready to go. If this works, I'm gonna get a haircut on every trip. I'll look like Al Shacklet by the end of the season.
We're on a cut millet field, and the farmer's cut it early. He's gonna bale it for silage. But Rodney had seen a buck in here about a month ago, and then his buddy Rick came in and watched this field last night and just caught a glimpse of a shooter he thought right before dark. So we're hoping for a last-minute miracle. We're out here deer hunting. We got a doe blowing behind us, and we saw a coyote go over the hump. Well, that was fun. We're out here on a Kansas deer hunt, and we've been battling them all week. And we had a doe come in and start blowing, and we just saw the source why. So I dropped out, started squealing and squalling, and tried to take him here at last light, but I missed him. Oh, that's the way it goes. We've had a fun time out here in Kansas, but you know, it was worth a shot. He was about 120 yards. I'm shooting a muzzleloader. I just missed him. It was fun.
I think we can all relate to that last segment. Pretty typical for a deer hunter to encounter predators in and around the timber. Well, now we're heading back to the Lone Star State with our calling expert, Jason Dudley, for some fast action.
I chose to run the camera this morning and let a good friend of mine, Jason Kaler, be in front of the camera on the gun. Frost on the ground, sun was just peeking over. We decided to take the rigger rabbit we were calling in a pretty wide open place. So we got the rigger rabbit set up, got in this old, it was kind of an old brush pile looking spot, and they pushed up and burnt, and all of it didn't burn, but it made just a really good location to call coyotes. We've been calling for about 10 minutes, and it never fails. When you're calling these coyotes, they're gonna come from the place that you don't think that they will. And they always catch you off guard, no matter what. Well, Kaler was sitting in this hole in this brush pile, and he had his bipods down on his rifle, and he couldn't turn to his right. So he made the decision he was gonna have to shoot left-handed. He missed the coyote. It was one of those just perfect mornings. The coyote was out there and just picturesque, just like it was wrote into a script.
That didn't work. I had to shoot him free-handed and trying to call, and I just flat missed him. Shot right over his back. But that was a good encounter anyways. Sometimes that happens. We're gonna go try another.
But he missed the coyote. He ended up taking a second shot at the coyote because when you call one of these dogs in and you miss them, you just educated them. And the chance of you calling those coyotes in again is probably very slim to none. So, you know, if the shot presents itself, we will take a second shot because there's no chance we're gonna call that dog back again. We decided to sneak in through this grass patch up to this big wheat field. It's one of my favorite places to call. I've had a lot of success on this place through the years.
We got a dog out here on the prairie. We're gonna try to get right here, about 10 more yards out here on this knoll, beside this tree. See if we can call him in to us. Let's go out here and get set up.
We snuck up through this grass patch on this morning, and before we ever got to really where we wanted to sit, we glassed this wheat field and we noticed there was a coyote already in the field. He was sitting out there just milling around, doing nothing really, and we thought he might be a good prospect to call. He made just a few calls, and the coyote picks his head up and looks at us and heads towards us in a long trot.
Might shoot him free-handed.
He was committed, and he was coming all the way. Coyote comes on, he gets close enough. Kaler did a soft little whistle under his breath. Coyote heard it, stopped, stood there, 20-yard shot in the bag.
That's what you call a close encounter. I hit the call 2 times and he just come charging in. I don't know, 20 yards right there. He lays. He's down for the count. Let's go over and see what we got.
When you get one that close, everything is right in the world.
Got a nice dog here, big old male dog. He's out here milling around out in this wheat field. Something about wheat fields and cattle just attract coyotes. I hit the call a couple times, man, he just come running straight in. He's out there about 500 yards and come in here. We were set up right there at that elm tree. Whole 20 yards, that was a close encounter. That's a nice dog right there. That's the way it's supposed to work.
All right, we've been trapping in Virginia. We've had 2 different calling sections from the Lone Star State. We saw Terry score in North Missouri, and we've also shown you some scenes from deer season. Now we're going into yet another diversified section. We're going into the Wildlife Eye section. The Wildlife Eye is a product that we brought out at Mad Calls. We decided last year during the deer season to try and monitor some predators, and we went out, we field dressed some deer, and we actually put wildlife eyes up over the gut paws to see what would happen. Down in the Lone Star State, Ty and Al field dressed a deer, and they wanted to see what would happen. We have some amazing reactions. We have some amazing nighttime infrared footage, and I think when you watch it, you get a better feel for just how wary these predators are. There's no human scent present. It's just simply a camera and the animal. Enjoy these following clips.
we've just seen extremely rare footage that was captured by the wildlife eye that I know everyone had to enjoy. I certainly did the first time I watched it. I was actually amazed by it. You know, it's something that you just rarely see. Now we're heading on over to Oklahoma with Todd Craighead and Randy Muir. This is a new team that we've enlisted their services. The footage is phenomenal. It's back to calling and it's back to fast action.
Well, we're up here in central Oklahoma today doing a little predator hunting, and the one nice thing about predator hunting is all these farmers will pretty much let you go out there. You just have to go ask permission and they'll let you go out and shoot all the coyotes you want. And it's a lot of fun. You can get your kids involved, get out there in the outdoors. It gives you something to do in the off season. It's a blast. We have a blast every time we're out here. We're gonna get out there this evening and see what we can get done. 3:30, no Robert. Still waiting on Robert. We'll be waiting on Robert all afternoon. When he said he'd be here at 2, did he mean AM or PM? Is he here? At 4:45 he arrives. Is that a Honda? He's going coyote hunting in a Honda? What is this? Are you kidding me? You got
just drove 75 miles with no AC.
And you don't have an air conditioner?
Not, bro.
Why didn't you bring your truck?
This is my coyote wagon.
We're getting ready to, we're set up on the edge of this field. And we got a big draw going all the way around us. And hopefully, here in just a few minutes, we'll have a young. Right there, to your right, right there. Shoot him, kill him. Wait.
Missed.
That was awesome. What'd that take? 30 seconds. We sat down here, the call, and the coyote popped up right behind the cameraman. I mean, that happened just boom. That is why this is so much fun, man. 15 seconds. I mean, we just sat down. Let's go look at him, come on.
Hey, dude. Right here, right? That's what I'm talking about. I hope you didn't get my miss on camera.
Hey man, we did it.
That was awesome.
We came in here, it's about what, 100 degrees out here today. The dog days of summer. Came out here, we got this draw running around right here. We set up on the high point, set up, hit the mad howler.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Maybe. He came running up just right over Randy's shoulder.
Yeah, I shot. Just
Robert let one rip and so anyway, he came running all the way down here, and I was fortunate enough to get a shot on him.
175 yards. You made a good shot.
Yeah, well, let's go, man.
Let's
go get another one.
Thank you.
All right, let's go. You know, today there's a lot of sportsmen that are looking for more opportunities to be out in the woods, and predator hunting is definitely one of those opportunities that a lot of hunters do not take advantage of. I'm gonna call Todd and see if he wants to go shoot a coyote tonight.
It's Todd.
Todd! It's Andrew.
Yeah, man.
Hey, I was checking the solar lunar table, and looks like we're gonna have a rising moon right at sundown. Thought it might be a good night to go shoot a coyote.
Yeah, oh, that sounds great. You read my mind.
Well, get your stuff, man. Let's go.
We'll see you then, man. The hunt is on.
You know, sometimes I have to walk by a mirror or catch a kid staring at me before I realize or remember that I don't look like everyone else. I mean, my arms and hands and feet and even legs are not exactly what society calls normal. But I just forget that because I've been this way my whole life, and I probably could speak for anyone in that regards that's ever had any kind of physical disability since birth. You know, certainly not the kind of person that's content with letting life just pass me by. So in terms of when people say things about me being courageous or inspirational, I just simply call that living. I mean, I don't really have anything to prove to anyone, or myself for that matter anymore. I've called in my own turkeys, taken elk in Colorado, and countless deer with a crossbow and muzzleloader and even a rifle. So I guess for now, it's more about the excitement of the hunt and the sheer adrenaline that brings me back time after time. You know, now when people have a chance to spend a little time around me, they eventually get around to asking me, well, Todd, is there anything that you can't do? And I simply say, just that I haven't tried yet.
Hey, what's that over there? Got him. Hey, nice shot.
Well, look at that.
Beautiful,
Full
man.
moon.
You know, this summer we're out here pretty much on a deer pattern. We got the full moon, a weather system.
High pressure.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, the dog started moving tonight. It started out hot, didn't it, though?
Oh man, I think it was 100 degrees out here today.
At least, but you know, even what do they say? A blind hog every once in a while
finds his acorn. That's right.
Yeah,
Well, hey,
I got a little lucky.
We set up on this little creek right here. You did some great calling, by the way, I gotta say. And dog came out just perfect, upwind of us. You made a great shot. And I know what you're gonna say about this, so go ahead and say it.
Hey, I love it when a plan comes together.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Let's get out of here. All right, let's go.
Now we leave Oklahoma from Todd and Randy, and we head south to the Lone Star State yet again, but this time it's with Ty Bertaskowitz and Al Shacklin. Ty is a biologist. He works for the state of Texas, and oftentimes they employ different techniques down in the state of Texas to help control their predator populations. The population is so high and they can actually overtake the cattle or overtake the livestock. They have to use every means possible they can to get these dogs out of the brush. I think you'll enjoy this amazing section.
Finally got our crap loaded up, and Al and I are headed south to go, headed to Zapata. We're gonna be headed to beautiful old Mexico pretty much. We had about a 2-hour drive all the way from basically my hometown Freer down to Zapata. Pulled into the ranch and met with a landowner. Right now most of his calves, most of his fawns will be dropping here in the next month or so. And as dry as it's been this year, we know we're gonna have pretty low fawn crops in the first place, so all the more better to try to take a little pressure off of some of that predation by coyotes.
I was a little bit nervous. I hadn't had too much experience in a helicopter, and Ty, he's put his time in behind it, but me, you know, I've done it a couple times, but I was still, to say the least, a little bit nervous.
You know, this brush down here looks super, super thick. You get up in the air though, and it's a totally different story. It looks wide open. Most of the time we're cruising between pastures looking for coyotes at, 1,000, 500 feet. Whenever we saw a dog though, we got right in on top of them, 50 foot, 60 foot above the air, going about anywhere from 40 to 60 miles an hour.
You know, it was pretty wild. As soon as we dropped a coyote, Ty would quickly pull out his GPS. We would throw up a waypoint, so we'd know exactly where to come back. We a lot of times we would want to try to land where those dogs went down, but with the brush, how thick it is down here, it's just not possible.
On this hunt, Al and I, we both shared time behind the camera because it was pretty unique. And I'll tell you what, you talk about an environment that's not very conducive for the cameraman. If you can imagine yourself in a roller coaster trying to film something that's running as fast or faster than you are, bopping in and out of brush and stuff. It was very, very difficult to stay on those coyotes. And I got new respect for those coyotes because they can really put the moves on.
It's a lot harder than it looks. I'll be the first to tell you right now. Shooting at a moving target with this chopper, when I could actually make contact on that coyote, you know, my eyes were wide open, my chin hit my kneecaps. It's tough.
What an exciting hunt we had. Flew around for 3, 4, 5 hours, chasing nothing but coyotes. I thought it was going to be pretty easy getting up there and just, you know, coyote here, coyote there, but we actually had to fly around quite a bit searching for those coyotes, looking for them. But once we got on them, man, the chase was on, and those coyotes got a lot of speed, but, you know, that big chicken hawk that we were in pretty much took, you know, right on their tail. And I think we ended up killing 7 or 8 coyotes. Really cool hunt. First time I've ever, you know, shot anything out of a helicopter. Spent lots and lots of time up in one, but never have shot anything out of there. And I tell you what, it's just like bow hunting. Once you do it one time, you're gonna want to go back.
Well, Ty and Al have truly enlightened us about some of the techniques they employ down in Texas. We're not going to leave Texas. We're going to stay in Texas. We're again tagging along with Jason Dudley. He hunts in 100-degree weather. He hunts at night. He eats, breathes, and sleeps predator hunting.
All right, night hunting in Texas. This is where the fun begins. The state of Texas allows you to hunt coyotes at night using artificial light and call predators in general. It's about 9:20, and we're gonna do a little night calling tonight. It's not too cold, but the temperatures are dropping pretty fast. It should be, time we start calling, should be in the mid-40s. We got a soybean field we're gonna go try first. See what we can get done. This night calling sometimes can happen real fast, just so fast that you flip the light on once there's nothing there, make a sequence of calls, flip the light on, and all you see is fur. They're just right there in your face. It's easy to get busted at night, but it's also easy to call. You know, predators, coyotes and bobcats both, they tend to really want to move at night. So we're getting into winter now in November, but the nighttime they sure want to move around a lot at night, and they hunt a lot this time of year because the food sources get kind of rare. And the salooner table said the night it was supposed to be, you know, around 10 o'clock to 10:30 when it really got good. So it's about 9:25 now, and we're gonna go see what'll happen. So we're shining as we drive into the bean field. We're shining immediately. We catch eyes. You know, eyes light up in the spotlight. We know there's something there, so we get to looking with binoculars and stuff, and we figure out that it's a big bobcat. Well, I take a shot, and what we think is a good shot, you know. So we take the light off. We're trying to get our bearing on where the cat's at after I'd shot, and we should have never took the light off. If you're hunting at night and you do spotlight something, and when you make the shot, you need to make sure that the person running the light is still holding the light in the same spot, so it gives you a place to start looking. So we do a lot of searching. You know, we searched for probably 5 minutes, and we figured, you know, that we've messed up by taking the light off. So we go back and we crawl back up in the truck, and the whole time we know we're being quiet because this is a pretty big place, and we really don't want to bust, you know, anything else that might be there, because we're planning on doing a couple more calls there. We get back in the truck and we quickly just glance around the field with the light, and sure enough, there's a set of eyes. He comes around the trees, and we're trying to get on him with the camera, and he finally comes up and gives me about an 11-yard shot. It was so close, and we were just ecstatic. You know, it's fun when you get them. When you kill a coyote, it's fun, but when you can get them that close, that makes it all really come together. A little 2-year-old male dog here, and what had happened is we had a cat out here in the field, and we just shot the cat. And we were trying to figure out to go out here and get the cat, and we walked around and we kind of lost our light. We took the light off the cat, and we shouldn't have done that. We climbed in the back of the truck trying to spot where we was at. Look around, just a quick glance, and there was a coyote coming into what we've been calling on the cat. We decided to go ahead and call the coyote in. He come in about 11, 12 yards. Just a good hunt, and we couldn't find the cat tonight, but we're gonna try to come back in the morning, got our spot marked, and we're going back to try to find him. He's a real big cat. That's coyote hunting. Lots of fun here in Texas at night. Another night hunt in Texas. We decided that we were going to take the Jeep, and the guy's hunting with, he calls his Jeep the Batmobile.
Gotta put some gas in the Batmobile. The reason I call this my Batmobile is it only gets cranked there for start. If it will crank. See if old Batmobile crank. Ain't been cranked in a while. Let her warm up a little bit, we'll be ready to go.
It's a nice night. The wind was blowing a little bit, and we thought it might lay. We go out, and we're just sitting there waiting for maybe for a coyote to howl, So we finally hear a coyote howl. We call for, maybe 10, 12 minutes, and we see eyes. Coyote's coming across. He steps out of the Jeep and makes a lot of noise. Coyote sees him. We know we're going to have to take a long shot, and he makes a shot count. It was sure nice coyote and fun to hunt that way.
Now that's the way it's supposed to work right there. I don't know how a bull elephant would even come into me what I just done. Had a dog come in from the east over here. We've been calling about 30 minutes, about to give up on it. Dog come running straight into us. I jumped out of the Jeep here and got laid across the hood and started hitting my mouse quicker, and when I stepped out, I hung my boot on the step. When I set my bipod up on the hood fell in. Boy, I made all kinds of noise, but he was dedicated. Little old squeaker there brought him right into me about probably 50, 75 yards. That's the way it's supposed to work right there. Get back in this Batmobile, see if we can do this again.
At the top of this production, we told you it would be way different. We've been in helicopters, we've had wildlife eye, we've also shown you trapping sections, and of course, all of that exciting calling. Now we're getting inside of a four-wheel drive truck. We've got dogs in the back. We're going with Chris Comstock of North Missouri, a good friend of ours. He and his buddies are out for a weekend coyote hunt, and it's gonna be dogs, tracking, fast-paced four-wheel drive radios. Let's get it on.
Well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna go try to get after some coyotes today. First thing we're going to do is go out and play our tapes and our sirens and see if we can get something to answer. We haven't got no snow today, so that's how we're going to try to get on one early in the morning anyhow, is to get one to answer, and so that way I know where he's at, and we'll walk dogs in and try to get after him. There's guy. We got something to answer north of us here, so we'll go load dogs here in a minute and try to get after one. Well, this is what I track my dogs with. It sends out a signal, so when they're not barking or whatever, I know where they're at and I can track them and catch them easier that way. Years ago, before we had these, I mean, if a dog got lost and wasn't barking or got out of your hearing, you was pretty much done for the day. And we used to have let a lot of dogs come home on their own, but now we can find them, and just safer for them and safer for us too. As you can see, they enjoy it about as much as we do. To relate with the collars that we put on the dogs there a minute ago, this is the receiver for that same deal. You gotta have this to pick up the collars. Just dial in what number. Every collar has its own number, and dial that in, and it beeps like that. And I've got an antenna that actually, when you're actually tracking the dogs away from them, you point it direction that the dogs are, or kind of tell you what direction the dogs are. That's pretty much how that thing works. And every collar's got its own number, and every dog's got its own collar. So we're getting ready to walk dogs in where we heard these coyotes this morning. Other guys are on their way, so I'm gonna go ahead before the frost leaves and try to get after them in here. Took a little longer than what I thought it might, but it's pretty hard to pinpoint exactly where they are at when you get them to answer like that in the morning without more than one guy out. Thereafter, they just lit straddle load off in there, off in here and east of the cedar patch here. Well, you can hear the dogs. They're off in south of us, going to make a little circle and come back off through here towards us here in a minute. And here, as luck would have it, here we are without a gun. Didn't take anything in as we walked into jumping. So, and luck will have it, it'll probably come through here in a minute, I'm sure. We just will head back toward it. Where is he? He's on that far end. I'm on him. You're on him? Yeah. Well, that was some poor shooting on my part. Thing should have been dead there, but that's how it goes. They're a lot easier to miss than they are to hit most of the time.
You gonna be southwest still, Chris?
Yeah, I'd say. Should have drew back in where that little bottom there. Stop the time. There goes Coyote. Get him on film. Dog's right behind him. Dogs is running pretty good right now. Hopefully they'll continue to run it as good as what they are right now. Kind of odd to see one out in the middle of the day like this across the road, but I want to go try to kill it, I suppose. Hopefully we can get a good kill on film. There's some coyote right now. I'm on him. He's down. Well, that turned in to be kind of a fast-paced deal here. Did just cross the road right here in front of us, and gotta let it get out here in the field where I can kill it. And we got to run up here and got a good kill on film, I think. And I hope it turns out the way I think it's going to. I had a good shot on it, anyhow, I know that. Redeemed myself from this morning, all the messing I done this morning. Well, here we are back after a successful hunt. We just did kill this one and got all the rest of our dogs caught and stuff. And we're gonna put my dogs up, feed and water them. That's a big part of this. I mean, that's how we do this, is because of the dogs. It's not an easy job to feed these things 365 days a year. I mean, when it's 10 below, I'm out here freezing, feeding these things. So it's not an easy job, but you gotta do it for the love. I mean, if you love the sport like we do, it's a small sacrifice for the end result, I guess.
Well, you talk about some high energy hunting. That's what you got with Chris Comstock, who happens to be a really good friend of ours, but it was exciting. Well, we're gonna shift gears a little bit here now. We're leaving the United States and heading to Canada with Corey Jarvis. Mark and Matt, my son, just happened to be in camp with Corey one year, and Corey happened to share some of the footage that he had on coyote hunting and predator hunting. and they were taken truly aback by what he had compiled. Well, after Mark and Matt gave him a little bit of encouragement, Corey decided to purchase a camera and started filming predator hunts. And I think you'll agree, we're bringing to you a little bit of fast action north of the border.
Try him again. Got him. Dude, that is sweet. Go ahead. Okay. Stop again for you. Got him. Too low, Tyler.
Sorry, Dad.
So tell me what happened.
I missed. Well, maybe we'll have better luck next time, but this time it didn't work out. So maybe we'll get one next time.
Here we are in southern Alberta, and we're on a bit of a coyote hunt. Temperature's gone up quite a bit. We're losing a lot of snow. It's not exactly ideal conditions, but we're gonna get try a bit of calling and see what we can do. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cross this fence here, go up this road, and then get down into one of the coulees over there.
Coyotes, we'll have to go down there and have a look at them. Yeah, sure. Good job. That's good.
Well, that's one down. We saw one coyote, we shot one, so we'll see how the rest of the day goes.
So far, so good.
Yep. Get him out of here.
Corey's outfitting business is called Three Rivers Adventures, and those were some adventures he took us on. Now we're going to head south over 1,000 miles to the Sunflower State. We're going to Kansas, near the Blue River with Blue River whitetails. Jason Irish is filming Preston Shoddy, and I think we may have saved the best for last.
You know, every year if we get a chance, me and Eric like to go back down the David Shoddies, down Blue River Whitetails, and we usually like to try to take the kids out deer hunting.
That was cool.
You know, we were out there, we were seeing some bucks, nothing with much size, seen a couple little ones, and you know, it was raining and drizzling one day, and this coyote came in, and you know, little Preston, he really wanted to shoot that coyote.
Just wait though. Get ready though, so we wanted to move first.
You know, we sat there and we watched that coyote, and he had his gun all ready to go, and I kept trying to, you know, as a videographer, I was trying to lay down the best footage I could, and I was trying to milk it out, trying to get a real good hunt, and I told Preston, I'm gonna try to call him in with my mouth a little bit closer, and then you can shoot him.
I'm gonna try to squeak him in a little closer. I wanna get him moving around a little bit.
Well, I started squeaking my mouth a little bit, and that coyote, he was gone. And Preston was a little disappointed in me. So it's the way it goes, you know. I was trying to get a super hunt. I could have just had him kill him and had a good hunt, I guess. You know, so that next day we were out in a deer stand, and you know, we'd seen a couple does, maybe a small buck, and just about that time, Preston hollers, I got a coyote coming.
That's a coyote coming.
You know, I didn't even give him the signal to shoot this time, and he was already shooting. You know, I guess he didn't want to wait for me to give him the signal to shoot this time after last time I scared that one away, but nevertheless, this coyote come in and he put a great shot on him. You know, that's one of those things about being down deer hunting, you just never know what you're gonna see, and you know, we were hoping for that big buck, but we settled for a coyote.
Well, I guess we've kind of wrapped things up here. And I hope that we were able to bring to you, the viewer, what we originally intended. And that intention was to show exactly how diverse and what type of cross-section different folks from across the entire North American continent are trying to employ as far as hunting predators. And it really is a wide variety that you got to witness. Well, that just shows you that there's so many techniques and different applications that you can employ. I hope you've enjoyed Predator Madness.
It was our first, it will not be our last. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. We tried to make it diverse, we tried to keep it fast action, we dared to be different, and I think you'll agree this one was way different.
Get in and sit up right here under this tree. Got a big open hay meadow here. Get in and set up. It's raining this morning. See kind of what happens. He was standing about 250. He was hung up. He was fixing to leave, so had to take the shot. We're gonna go look. I don't think I hit that coyote, but we need to go look anyway. Well, I missed that coyote. That's what's fun about coyote hunting, though, because we know there'll be another one in 30 minutes. So we're gonna try another stand.
Texas cold hunting. That sucker come out on top of me, and I gave him a little mouse squeak. Man, he just come charging in. I mean, just running wide open. Right there's what it's all about. Let's go out here and see what we got. It's a big old dog. Got a little notch in his ear there. Maybe fighting or fence or something. I bet that sucker weighs 45 or 50 pounds. Man, he is huge. That right there is what it's all about. We got a cow standing right out here about 200 yards. We're gonna try to sneak up to this fence and see if we can get a shot on it. That's the way it's supposed to work, kinda. That dog seen us. Stopped and decided to run off. So I stopped and took the shot. It wasn't the best in the world, but by golly, it'll work. Something about North Texas, cattle and cold weather, growing coats. We just coming in here this morning, gonna set up on the stand down here and get up here to these orange gates. He's coming across the field here, so we had to sneak up to them, get out of the truck, get everything ready, and sneak up to the gates. Got up there without him seeing us. I called a little bit, and he's coming right down this cow trail right to us, and I guess he spotted us, knew we wasn't supposed to be there. He wheeled around and started trotting off, and I had to call again, and he locked up. Thought I better take the shot. Pretty nice little dog.